All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we look ahead to the Niners and the Eagles coming up this Sunday from the Link in Philly. Kevin, I will be there in Philly for Niners Eagles on Sunday, and we're fired up. We'll be headed off on Friday to Philly. All right, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. They're also opening a third location here in 2026 in Petaluma. So we'll give you more details as the grand opening of their Petaluma location gets announced here shortly. All right. We also should tell you that the Krug Show is on the road headed to Philadelphia, courtesy of our friends at Clawdaddy Arcades. That's right. The trip is made possible by our friends at Clawdaddy Arcades, the ultimate destination for claw machine gaming and prize play. 3 locations in Southern California, plus spots in Fresno, Modesto, brand new locations here in the Bay Area as well, in Capitola Mall. Clawdaddy Arcades, bringing family-friendly fun to communities across California. Whether you're a kid or just a kid at heart, Clawdaddy's prize pack machines are guaranteed to bring excitement and friendly competition. They're a great follow on the gram at claw_daddy_arcades to find a location near you. And when you stop by, tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. Big thanks to Clawdaddy Arcades for supporting the Krug Show's trip to Philly. All right, let's talk a little bit about the matchup. Eagles coming off of a 24-17 loss to the Washington Commanders. And there is a little bit of a backstory on this game between the Niners and the Eagles. The Eagles could have played that game, and there was something to gain. They could have gone from the 3 seed to the 2 seed. If they had, they would have gotten a rematch with the Green Bay Packers. Instead, Sirianni made the call by himself to put the Eagles starters, sit their starters. Tanner McKee started at quarterback for Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley did not play. It was Tank Bigsby. They sat a lot of their guys, and they lost. And they fell from what could have been the 2 seed in Green Bay to the 3 seed and the 49ers. Why is this even a factor? Well, because it's being questioned on Philadelphia sports radio and Philadelphia media by everybody. Should Sirianni have done this? What my point is this: if the 49ers somehow can manage a big first half in Philadelphia and get any kind of a lead, you may see the pressure of the moment crush down on the Eagles and Sirianni, and they may not handle that pressure real well. So I think the first half in this game is absolutely crucial. If the Niners can get a lead, I think it will put enormous pressure on Sirianni, and there'll be an awful lot of the boo birds coming out at halftime if the 49ers have any kind of a multiple score lead against the Eagles. Now, let's talk a little bit about the matchup and about the roster that the Eagles have. We'll start on offense because that's kind of where the Eagles have most of their questions. It's a really, really good defense. The question is, what are they going to be on offense? Now, Lane Johnson is expected to go. He is their future Hall of Fame right tackle. He was expected to practice Wednesday for the first time since he suffered the Liz Frank foot injury in the middle of November, and he's got a very good chance to return. Now, can he play the whole game? We'll see. But he's most likely going to return, so he'll be their starter, most likely at right tackle. Vic Fangio also has told reporters he does expect Nakobe Dean, who's got a hamstring injury, to play against the Niners as well in this matchup. A lot of people like the Eagles. Chase Sr. says he's picking the Eagles. Why? Because he said the Eagles have the rest advantage. The Eagles are better on the O-line. The Eagles are better on the D-line. The Eagles are at home, and they have more roster talent, and the Niners come into the game limping. So he likes the Eagles to get the win. Eagles, though, have the number 21 ranked third down defense in the NFL. So Seattle had the number 1 third down defense, and they did a really good job against the 49ers at shutting down the Niners' number 1 ranked third down offense. So the Niners have the number 1 ranked third down offense, but the Eagles have 21 third down defense. So we'll see. We'll see. Can the Niners win on third down, the quarterback down, and the key down, and stay on the field and have extended drives? That's going to be a big factor in this game. Can Brock Purdy win against the Eagles defense on third down? Then, the other question is how good is Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts was 18th in EPA per play, 25th in success rate, 20th in QBR, 12th in passer rating. If you look at Purdy, he's third in EPA per play, 1 in success rate, 2 in QBR, 8th in passer rating. So on paper, Purdy is statistically the better player. So, it's interesting. The Eagles are the only team in the NFL to repeat as division champions this year. They got the best record in the NFL, including the playoffs, since the start of 2022. They're 56-20. They're a really, really good football team. They're a really good football organization. Since week 8, the Eagles are giving up 14.5 points per game. That's number 1 in the NFL. So, but their offense is their issue. They've only scored 20-plus points 3 times out of their last 9 games since the bye week. 2 of those games came against the Raiders and the Cowboys. So, can the Niners score in the 20s against Fangio's defense and make this a really, really tight game? I mean, that's really the question. Vic Fangio and Kyle Shanahan have gone head-to-head before. Fangio had conversations with Shanahan about being the defensive coordinator when Shanahan became head coach in 2017. He was, he was with the Bears at the time and would later go on to the Broncos to be their head coach in 2019. But Shanahan and Fangio have a good relationship. Fangio has stopped by the Niners facility, and they face off Sunday in strength versus strength. Shanahan has gone up against Fangio's defense 4 times. The last time was 2018. Shanahan's offenses have scored 11, 6, 15, and 9. But his quarterbacks were John Beck, Robert Griffin III, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Nick Mullins. So the Niners even tried. Shanahan even tried to hire Fangio back in what year that was? That was 2017, but the Bears blocked it at the time. So, it's going to be tough to beat the Eagles at home. Sirianni and Hurts together in the playoffs at home, 5-0 with a plus 105 point differential. They've outscored their opponents by an average of 21 points per game. There's only been one score game, and it was last year against the Rams. The rest of them have been blowouts. So, where the Eagles not as good, their O-line's not as good. They don't have Kelsey anymore. Their O-line finished 16th in pass block win rate, 14th in run block win rate. To put that in perspective, the Niners offensive line finished 12th in pass block win rate and run block win rate. The Niners offensive line was higher rated this year than the Eagles offensive line. As far as DVOA, Niners are number 2 on offense, number 27 on defense, and number 13 on special teams. The Eagles are number 17 on offense, number 7 on defense, and number 24 on special teams. So just a little bit of a match of the matchup breakdown. Now let's talk a little bit about the depth chart. Eagles, obviously, Hurts is, really, really strong legs. He's a runner. He was 5th in the league in rushing. You've got to defend a run game. That includes having to defend the quarterback run. So that complicates things. And that's, that changes the equation quite a bit. Saquon Barkley will be rested. He didn't play last week. As I said, the Eagles, though, have not done a great job run blocking. It's not the same offense as they had a year ago. Dallas Goedert has 11 touchdowns, so he's definitely the guy to watch for in the red zone. Their deep threat is Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is the guy they go down the field to. A.J. Brown operates more in the intermediate. Jahan Dotson's got really sticky fingers. Their offensive line, Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson are Hall of Famers, I think. But I don't think either's having a particularly good year. Landon Dickerson's beat up. He's the left guard. He's a good left guard, but he's very beat up. Tyler Steen stepped in for Mekhi Becton at right guard, and he's just not the same player that Becton was. Becton could just create massive holes. He was a huge monster of a man. Tyler Steen is more athletic, but he doesn't have nearly the pop in the run game. And then Cam Jurgens is their center. So, it's a good offensive line. But it hasn't been as good, at least statistically this year, as it has been in the past. Saquon Barkley is their back, and he's a great back. He really is. Barkley is really a terrific back overall, and he can catch it. He can run. He's got speed. He's got size. He's got power. He can push the pile, as they say. And they got a good number 2 back in Tanks Bigsby. So, This is a good Eagles offense, but it's not really operating at a high level. And Lane Johnson, may not be able to play the full game. If he can't, you expect the rookie, Cam Williams, to step in. Special teams, the Niners have a decided advantage against the Eagles' special teams, if just looking at the rankings. But then defensively, this is where this game is either going to be won or lost for the Niners offense against the Eagle defense. This is strength against strength. I expect Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan to bounce back with a great effort after scoring only 3 points last week against New Orleans. But this Philly defense is really good on all three levels. They traded for Jalen Phillips. He's a little dinged up. Jalen Carter is a massive interior force with great movement ability. I mean, those guys really have to be combo blocked. You got two of them on the same line. Then you got Jordan Davis, who's a gigantic man. I mean, we're talking about one of the biggest, most powerful defensive linemen in the league. 6'6", 340, and way better than he was as a rookie. He plays lower. He plays with more leverage. He's smarter. He's recognizing how teams are trying to block him. He's a much better player than he used to be. And then Moro Ajomo is at defensive end opposite Phillips. They also have Brandon Graham, Byron Young. You'll see the rookie Ty Robinson out of Nebraska. This line is not the same line that they had in the Super Bowl. That line had Milton Williams. That line, had Josh Sweat. Both those guys are really big time, and they got paid a lot of money. But what Philly does have is, they do have speed off the edge because you got Jalen Phillips on one end. You got Nolan Smith, who's a 4'4" guy, right outside backer. Jalix Hunt is another super athletic guy. He leads them in interceptions and sacks. A third-round pick in the 24 draft. Hunt has been terrific. So, and then inside, they're even better. I mean, Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, Jihad Campbell, Jeremiah Trotter. I mean, the Niners and the Eagles are the opposite, diametric opposites. As far as the Niners have absolutely nothing left at inside linebacker, and the Eagles have an abundance of riches. They have Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean. And then last week, they sat those guys and played Jeremiah Trotter and Jihad Campbell. And Trotter and Campbell combined for 22 tackles. And they're fresh, and they're young, and they can run. And both these guys have been drafted in the last couple of years. So they got great depth at inside linebacker, unbelievable depth. They're probably going to let Nakobe Dean walk away in free agency at the end of the year. And then secondary-wise, they've got Quinyon Mitchell, who's a terrific player. Adoree Jackson really got crushed early on, but he's been much better late. Cooper DeJean is their nickelback, is a really good player as well. Second-round pick in the 24 draft. I think you could pick on Reed Blankenship, the free safety. Marcus Epps, the strong safety, also comes into this game dinged up. He's not 100%. Their number one corner is Quinyon Mitchell, and he's a really good one. But, man, Jackson opposite him is just a guy. Jacorian Bennett, not very good. Kaylee Ringo, not very good. Their corners last week against Washington just got picked apart by Josh Johnson. So Quinyon Mitchell's their number one guy, but I think the other corner you can go at, and you can go at pretty consistently. And I expect the 49ers to do exactly that. So there you go, a little breakdown of the depth chart. Niners underdogs on the road. They're probably going to have to be +1 or +2 on the turnover margin. But as you look at this game, you can see that the Eagles fans the backstory here is that they wanted Sirianni to go for it and play his starters and try to be the number 2 seed last week. Sirianni opted to sit the starters, lose the game, and take on the Niners. So if the Niners roll in the first quarter, first half, and have a big first half, and it's Niners by 10 at halftime or something like that, the pressure in that stadium around Sirianni and his decision to kind of play his hand in Week 18 the way he did, I think is going to add a lot of juice and maybe even a lot of momentum to the 49ers. So it's definitely something to look for. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. We appreciate them. Check them out there in Corte Madera, Emeryville, soon to open in Petaluma. And, of course, as we told you before, thanks to Claw Daddy Arcades for sponsoring our road trip to Philly. This trip is made possible by our friends at Claw Daddy Arcades, the ultimate destination for claw machine gaming and prize play. 3 locations in Southern California. They've got a spot in Fresno, a spot in Capitola, a spot in Modesto. They're bringing family-friendly fun to communities right across California. Tell them Krug sent you. Big thanks to Claw Daddy Arcades for supporting the Krug Show's trip to Philly. If you would like to be an additional sponsor for our trip to Philly, just DM me, contact me, and we can make it happen. We appreciate Claw Daddy Arcades for sponsoring. We are looking for one additional sponsor. If you would like to sponsor the Krug Show's trip to Philadelphia for Niners Eagles, just contact me and we'll make it happen. But thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.